Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Of course, today I had to come on and review this film because I figure my channel is a movie review channel and a music channel as well, so I have to talk about Bob Marley, One Love, directed by Ronaldo Marcus Green, starring Kingsley Ben-Adir, Lashana Lynch, and James Norton. And this course follows the legendary reggae artist Bob Marley from the attempted assassination on his life all the way through the recording of the album Exodus and the ensuing tour that went along with that. And this film is obviously one that was supposed to come out last year and it didn't. It got delayed to this year. And, it's one of those films where early on people thought this could be a big Oscar contender, and then, of course, as we saw the trailers, it didn't look like anything that we hadn't seen before in this realm. And look, Ronaldo Marcus Green, I really like a lot of stuff he's done. I really like Monsters and Men, very good film, probably the best thing he's done. And I also really liked King Richard, which, as conventional as it may be, was a deep dive into its main subject, if anything. And I think that alone is really, really interesting, and, there's a lot to chew on character-wise in this film. And of course, diving into a subject as big as Bob Marley and so legendary and otherworldly, that's definitely some big shoes to fill when writing the screenplay. And to be honest, it's just what I expected. Another standard biopic that we've seen time and time again. Doesn't do anything really extraordinary at all, if anything, but let me give some positives on this film. Because, of course, we have to talk about Kingsley Ben-Adir, who is an actor I've really enjoyed. I thought he should have been nominated for playing Malcolm X in One Night in Miami. He's phenomenal in that film, and as another black icon that is very, very much appreciated. And also, I liked him in Barbie. He was a lot of fun. He's been on a lot of stuff lately. He's been impressing me, and considering how I felt about the trailers and him in them, I actually was very pleasantly surprised as how much I enjoyed his portrayal as Bob Marley. Because sure, he doesn't really quite talk like him, but once the movie goes along, you kind of forget about it. And I think the most interesting thing about this film is how they portray Bob Marley at his worst moments, because, someone who preached so much peace and love, might have had some violent tendencies here and there. And I think when they dive into maybe the darker moments and aspects of his personality, I think that was when the movie really shined. But I think the true standout here is Lashana Lynch as Rita Marley, who honestly, if this movie came out later in the year, I would say would be in discussion to be nominated for Best Supporting Actress at the Oscars. Maybe she still will be, but I don't know if this film has as much staying power for that specifically, but I really thought that she was phenomenal, and I think the relationship between her and Bob is really the most interesting part of this movie as well, if I were to pick another component of it. Of course, the music is great. It's Bob Marley and the Wailers. I mean, you're not going to get much better than that, even in general. And I really do love the selection of songs here. It's easily going to go down as maybe the best soundtrack of the year, though I think that's sort of a foregone conclusion in that sense, just considering who this is about. And I did enjoy watching this movie overall. Yet again, a lot of structural problems. There's a lot of flashbacks to his past, which would have been interesting, but I feel like they play off as sort of an afterthought, if anything, and I don't think that story's really fully comes together. There's also some, I guess you could say, artistic choices that were made that I really didn't think made a whole lot of sense, though there was a very nice woman in the theater who I talked to after, and she explained one of them to me, which I appreciated, but still, I don't really understand how a lot of these decisions actually played into the narrative of the film, that is, and so, yet again, it's one of those things where you're not really going to discover much new about Bob Marley here if you weren't already, and I'm a big, huge Bob Marley fan, so I already knew most of this stuff to begin with. And also, like, this is obviously, I said that they do portray certain moments in his life and his personality that were a bit darker than maybe what we've seen or been accustomed to by just watching him in interviews and listening to his music, but They really don't dive into a whole lot, especially his extramarital affairs with other women, which, you know, gave him a lot of his children. And they just kind of like go over that for like 1 second in a montage. And yet again, you get a lot of that in this movie, as you'd expect from another formulaic biopic. But overall, I mean, there's more good than there's bad here, I would say. You know, it's not really one that I'm going to be splitting hairs over. It was fine. I mean, what else are you going to expect from a movie like this? And yeah, I'm going to give Bob Marley One Love a 6 out of 10. I mean, it's perfectly fine for what it is. Got a lot of issues, but it's got a lot of bright spots as well. I'm really glad that I did enjoy Kingsley Ben-Adir as much as I did in this film, but Lashana Lynch is the one you really should be watching out for, because she is quite incredible in this. And of course, it's a nice celebration of one of the greatest artists of all time, one of the greatest singer-songwriters to ever exist, and one of the most important figures politically in music, and yet again, just in music in general. So yeah, that's my review of Bob Marley, One Love. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought of the film, and of course, smash the like button here if you're new. Of course, as I mentioned, a lot of movie reviews here, but also music stuff as well, like the countdown we're doing for the top 50 albums of the 50s between me and Johnny Radio. It's going to be another epic countdown, one of many that we've done together, but if you want to contribute a list, feel free to reach out to us, and I'll leave a link to the video so you can check that out and how it works. And of course, yeah, I mean, a lot of stuff coming down the pipeline. Of course, the latest film from Ethan Coen, going solo this time, from Joel. Of course, that is Drive Away Dolls. You're not going to want to miss that review when it drops within the next couple of days. So yeah, guys, until then, you take it easy, and I'll talk to you more movies very soon. One